Mom was laying in bed one night. She wasn't feeling all that well. It was kind of understandable. She was 45 years old, not that that had anything to do with it, but she was a smoker. She had been smoking for 30 years. Yeah, do the math. She'd been smoking since she was 15 years old or so. That's a long time, rough on the body. She also, at that time, she drank a lot too. And she was severely depressed. And she didn't get a whole lot of exercise. Yeah, she was a busy person, but she just didn't get regular exercise. So she wasn't feeling well. She said it was like a hot, hard pain at the base of her ribs. She thought maybe she'd ruptured her diaphragm. It was really strange. She finally woke my dad up and she said, I think I might be having a heart attack. And he said, really? You want to go to the hospital? No, I think I'll be okay. And she rolled over and she eventually found a comfortable position and she went back to sleep. So, oh my goodness, that was really a heart attack. She didn't find out till years later when she did her baseline ECG and other testing. They found that there was a dead spot in her heart, and that must have been her heart attack. Back then, they didn't think, that was 50 years ago, they didn't think women had heart attacks. But they did, obviously. Generally, when a man has a heart attack, it happens in the larger parts of his heart. And he says, oh man, it felt like there was an elephant standing on my chest. They get the pain down the left arm. They get the diaphoresis, the sweating, and they're pale. And sometimes they can lose consciousness. But actually, only a few women actually have those symptoms. Get this. These are the symptoms of a woman's heart attack. Anxiety. Are you going to the hospital for anxiety? Well, maybe a panic attack, but no. They can have pressure or pain in the upper back, upper abdomen, or lower chest. They can be dizzy, panting, lightheaded. They might faint. They might get nauseous. They might throw up. They might feel really, really, really tired. Do any of those things make you think, I should go to the hospital because I'm having a heart attack? No, not really. And I've had acid reflux that I swore was a heart attack. Oh man, that is so painful. I swear it was angina. I call up my mom and say, okay, what does this angina feel like? Because this is so painful. And so I found that if I had a little bit of apple cider vinegar on a teaspoon, it went away. So it was not angina. And I did not go to the hospital. But I have gone twice when I didn't need to. I was very pregnant, about to give birth, and I start having contractions, and we go, whoopee, let's go have this baby. And they were Braxton Hicks contractions, which happened before birth. So they're kind of like your body's kind of practicing, but yeah, they sent me home. And then about 10 or 12 years ago, I had a panic attack. I thought I was going to die. I couldn't breathe. So they carted me off to the emergency room. And once again, panic attack. I just went home. So when do you go to the hospital? It's tricky. It's all over the place because everything is changing. What's happening is changing. It seems like almost everything is a gray area. But how do you make that decision? My friend Mona was cooking dinner one night. Her husband comes home from work, gives her a kiss, opens the refrigerator, and he says, what's for dinner? His heart stopped and he dropped dead right there in front of the refrigerator. That was it. That was cardiac arrest. When you go into cardiac arrest, you are dead. And that's what happened. There are different versions where you might be able to be brought back with a defibrillator and things like that, but he was dead. So there was really no question about going to the hospital. He was gone. Things happened quickly. My friend Penny was driving in Kirkland about 2 miles from her house, and she was hit head on by a guy who was just speeding into the turn lane, smashed her car. Luckily, she had a big SUV because she was badly injured, but she didn't know it. She told the paramedics, no, I'm going to have my husband pick me up. And he did. But they also ended up back at the hospital, which really messed up her ability to claim insurance because she went home. She didn't go right from the scene. It really messed that up. And she was messed up too. One of our Toastmasters from years ago said that her niece, an infant, was in distress, but they were immigrant families and they didn't know what to do. And the child died because they weren't fast enough to go, I'm scared, this is bad, we're calling 911. One of my students was from the Ukraine, tight Ukrainian community in Bellevue. And he was very concerned about when to call 911 or when to take a child to the doctor or the hospital because they wait too long. And then CPS comes in and takes the children away. That is what happens. But culturally, they don't know what the resources are. So I told him that every hospital, even Evergreen Hospital, 899-3000 is the nurse helpline. If your child is ill, something is just, you're confused, you don't know what to do, call a nurse hotline. My insurance has it, the hospitals have it. Find one that's near you, put it prominent on the phone. So if you're running a really high fever, call them. If it's time for you to go to the hospital, they may say, we're calling 911. They may say, come to the hospital, or they may give you remedies that you can use to take care of yourself. The nurse hotline, fantastic resource. But if you're scared, oh, this is scary. I mean, even if I'm getting just weird symptoms, something's happening to someone else. If you are scared, call 911 because they will come and do the assessment. Tax dollars have already paid for it. Once they cart you off to the hospital, that's when it costs you money. But really, no one wants to go to the hospital. There are so many reasons why. But you know, sometimes there is a bonus. Sometimes you get to go home with a baby. Toastmasters.